particularly for people in their teens and 20s and 30s, this sense that the world we are inheriting and the world that we are leaving is not in great shape, that we have forgotten how to be together, trust is fraying, we are increasingly divided, the climate is in really big trouble. And knowing how to live, right? Knowing how to be, knowing how to not just be overwhelmed with fear and anxiety or numbing and distraction, which are my kind of two unhealthy poles that I can go to, but be someone with some steadiness. And one of the very early inspirations was something that earlier guest on the podcast, Vanessa Zoltan, said when I asked her about this. And she said, I try and focus on what are the kind of people we need to be if it is the end of the world. And it's probably not the end of the world, but it might be the end of the world as we know it. And at some point, it will be the end of the world. There will be a generation of people who, like at the end of the Roman Empire, like when the Black Death swept across Europe, right? There are this moment where civilization buckles, where things change radically and catastrophically. And asking myself that question, knowing how little I can actually control, how little I can actually fix, felt related to that old prayer that they use in the recovery movement. Lord, help me to have the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. And it felt like the thing I can change is my character, is my ability to be brave and kind even when I'm scared. And in my tradition, that call to love your neighbor is so central. And it felt like this ambient apocalyptic fear in the culture was making me less likely to love my neighbor. And so I just started with this. I want to put my roots down deep. I want to find some steadiness of soul. And I found amazing resources for that in this sort of inherited tradition that's in the background of our nation.